Chosen one and my beloved child. Stop, just stop for a moment and answer me honestly. Have you ever felt different, even when you tried so hard to fit in? Have you ever carried a sensitivity that others did not understand, a depth that made you feel misunderstood, a heaviness that no one could explain, and a quiet pull toward God that never really left you alone? And what if I told you that the very thing you have been calling strange is the very thing heaven calls chosen? My child, why do you think your spirit feels heavier in certain rooms and lighter in certain prayers? Why do you notice what others ignore? Why do you feel things before they happen? Why do empty words disturb you so deeply, while truth hits your spirit like a homecoming? And why have you spent so long asking whether something is wrong with you, when the real answer is that your spirit is different? Listen to me carefully. Your spirit is different because I made it that way. I did not fashion you to move like everyone else, that I did not design your heart to be shallow, careless, or numb, that I did not create you to laugh at what grieves heaven, or to sleep through what matters in the spirit, that I place something within you that is sensitive, aware, searching, alive. And yes, that difference has made you feel lonely at times, that IT has made you feel like the odd one out, that IT has made you wonder why certain people drain you so quickly, why certain environments press on your chest, and why you cannot keep pretending that everything is fine when your spirit knows it is not. But hear me now, your difference is not a defect, that IT is not a flaw, that IT is not something to apologize for. It is evidence that you carry a deeper assignment. Some of you have spent years trying to silence your own spiritual sensitivity because other people called it too much, too emotional, too intense, too serious, too quiet, too deep, too different. But what they called too much, I called necessary. Because if I had made you like everybody else, you would miss the things I need you to notice. You would ignore the warning signs. You would settle for what is loud instead of what is true. You would choose comfort over conviction. You would let appearances guide you instead of discernment. But I made your spirit alert for a reason. That heaviness you feel in certain places is not random. That discomfort around certain people is not imaginary. That urge to step back, to pray, to wait, to listen, to not rush, is not weakness. It is wisdom from within. And I need you to stop calling your sensitivity a burden. Sensitivity is not the enemy when it is surrendered to me. Sensitivity becomes strength when it is filtered through truth. Sensitivity becomes discernment when it is refined by prayer. Sensitivity becomes protection when you learn how to trust it. My child, your spirit is different because you were built to carry light where darkness has tried to settle. You were built to hear what others dismiss. You were built to perceive what others overlook. You were built to walk into spaces and sense when something is off long before it becomes obvious. That is why you do not fit into every crowd. That is why every connection does not feel like home. That is why every invitation is not your assignment. And that is why you keep feeling the tension between who you are and who the world keeps asking you to become. The world wants you louder, I want you deeper. The world wants you to perform, I want you to be rooted. The world wants you to ignore your spirit so you can appear easy to manage, I want you to listen closely so you can walk in wisdom. Some of you have been trying to explain your difference to people who were never going to understand it. You keep trying to translate your sensitivity into a language that disconnected hearts can accept, but not every person deserves access to your inner world. Not every person is equipped to understand a spirit like yours. Not every voice deserves your trust. Not every opinion deserves a response. Because your difference is sacred. There are things in you that are still being formed in private. There are callings in you that will only make sense later. There are tears you cried that were not a sign of weakness, but a sign that your spirit was catching what your mind had not yet named. There are moments you thought you were breaking, when actually you were being stretched into capacity. You are not too sensitive. You are spiritually awake. You are not broken. You are aware. You are not unstable. You are tuned in. And yes, that can feel uncomfortable in a world that rewards numbness. But I did not call you to be numb, I called you to be alive in me. My child, I know the questions you have asked in private. Why do I feel so much? Why do I carry other people's pain so deeply? Why does everything seem to affect me? Why can I not just be normal? And my answer is this: because you were never meant to live disconnected from the pulse of heaven. There is a reason your spirit reacts to truth. There is a reason dishonesty unsettles you. There is a reason your peace is precious to you. There is a reason fake love, shallow words, and empty promises leave you restless. Your spirit knows. Even when you try to override it, it knows. And that knowing is part of your protection. So when people misunderstand you, do not shrink. When they label you, do not surrender. When they call your depth too much, do not water yourself down to make them comfortable. Because what makes you different is also what makes you dangerous to darkness. You notice things. You feel things. You sense things. You carry an awareness that cannot be manufactured by performance. And I placed that in you. In the next part, I'm going to show you why your difference has made some people uncomfortable, why your spirit keeps pushing you toward greater purpose, and how to stop apologizing for the way I made you. Why would the people who move the loudest feel unsettled by the one who says the least? Why would your calm disturb people who live on chaos? Why would your presence expose things that other people can keep hiding? And why have you been trying so hard to become easier, when I made your spirit different on purpose? My child, I need you to understand this deeply now. Your spirit is different not only so you can feel, but so you can discern. Not only so you can care, but so you can perceive. Not only so you can be tender, but so you can be protected. That difference has made you misunderstood, yes. It has made you quiet in rooms where others are loud. It has made you selective where others are careless. It has made you pull away from things that looked fine on the surface but felt wrong in your spirit. And for a long time, you thought that made you difficult. But I am telling you now, it made you accurate. You do not miss what others miss because you are broken. You do not feel what others ignore because you are unstable. You do not pull back when the atmosphere shifts because you are weak. You are responding to the signal I placed in you. There is a reason some places exhaust you almost instantly. There is a reason some conversations leave your spirit heavy. There is a reason some people make you feel like you have to guard yourself before they have even said anything wrong. Your spirit is reading beyond the words. And that is not paranoia. That is discernment. What you carry is not common. It is not shallow. It is not casual. It is not something you can switch on and off just to fit in with the crowd. You were made with a spiritual sensitivity that sees under the surface. You pick up on what is hidden in tone. You sense what is hidden in motive. You feel what is hidden in atmosphere. That means you were not built to live carelessly. You were built to move with awareness. And yes, that awareness can feel like a burden when you do not know how to carry it with me. Because once you start noticing more, you also start feeling more. You notice the pain in others. You notice the cracks in relationships. You notice the dishonesty in a smile. You notice the tension in a room before anyone speaks. That can make you feel like you are carrying too much. But hear me carefully. You were never meant to carry all of it alone. You were meant to bring what you sense into prayer. You were meant to hand it back to me. You were meant to let me turn your sensitivity into wisdom, your awareness into direction, and your quiet observations into protection. That is why your spirit is different. Because I can trust you with things that careless hearts will overlook. I can trust you with hidden truth. I can trust you with subtle warnings. I can trust you with the kind of insight that saves you from wrong paths and wrong people. The world may call you intense. The world may call you complicated. The world may call you too deep. But I call you attentive. I call you tuned in. I call you awakened. I call you available to my voice. And that is why certain people do not know what to do with you. Because they cannot manipulate what they cannot easily read. They cannot rush what is already discerning. They cannot pressure what is already praying. They cannot fool what is already watching the fruit. So when they say you are hard to understand, sometimes that is their way of saying your spirit is not easy to control. And that is a good thing. Some of you have spent years apologizing for your discernment. Apologizing when you stepped back. Apologizing when you said no. Apologizing when something felt off. Apologizing when you chose peace over pleasing people. But I am releasing you from that now. You do not have to apologize for protecting what I gave you. You do not have to apologize for not rushing into spaces that do not fit your spirit. You do not have to apologize for needing clarity before commitment. Your difference is not a problem to fix. It is a design to honor. And if you keep trying to live like everybody else, you will exhaust yourself trying to become less of what I created you to be. Stop shrinking your spirit to make room for shallow expectations. Stop silencing your inner warning because someone else wants your agreement. Stop forcing yourself to stay where your spirit keeps asking to leave. Stop calling yourself dramatic just because you can feel what others pretend not to see. The moment you start honoring your spiritual difference, your life begins to align. You will start choosing better. You will start moving slower when needed. You will start leaving sooner when the peace is gone. You will start trusting the quiet check in your spirit before the damage gets loud. That is growth. That is maturity. That is what it looks like when a different spirit finally stops fighting itself and starts walking with me. And let me tell you something else. Your difference also means your testimony will be different. You will not have the same path as everyone else. You will not need the same validation as everyone else. You will not build the same way as everyone else. You will not survive by the same logic as everyone else. Because I will lead you in ways that prove I was with you. Sometimes I will isolate you so I can refine you. Sometimes I will separate you so I can sharpen you. Sometimes I will let you feel misunderstood so you stop depending on human approval for spiritual confirmation. That season was not wasted. It was shaping you. The tears were shaping you. The distance was shaping you. The silence was shaping you. The rejection was shaping you. Even the times you thought, "Why am I like this?" were part of the shaping. You are different because you are being prepared for a different kind of impact. You were never meant to blend in so deeply that nobody could tell you were carrying something holy. You were meant to stand out in quiet ways. To bring peace into chaos. To bring truth into confusion. To bring sensitivity into places that have grown numb. That is why your spirit recoils from what is fake. That is why your heart does not settle for shallow connection. That is why your soul aches when something is off, even if everyone else keeps clapping for it. Your spirit is different because it is under my governance. And when you let me lead that difference, it becomes a gift to you and to the people around you. You will comfort people without losing yourself. You will discern danger without becoming fearful. You will carry compassion without becoming a door for everybody's disorder. You will remain soft without becoming naive. That is the balance I am bringing you into. Not numbness, balance. Not suspicion, balance. Not isolation, balance. There is a version of you that is about to emerge more clearly, and that version will no longer apologize for being spiritually alive. You will know when something is not right. You will know when someone is not sincere. You will know when a path is not yours. You will know when to pray, when to wait, when to move, and when to walk away. That is not fear. That is wisdom. And when you start moving in that wisdom, the peace you have been searching for will begin to settle in places that used to feel chaotic. Your spirit is different, and that difference is not making your life harder. It is making your life more protected. More guided, more aligned, more intentional. So stop trying to be less sensitive. Stop trying to be less aware. Stop trying to be less you. I did not make a mistake when I made your spirit this way. I made you able to notice. I made you able to feel. I made you able to discern. I made you able to stand apart without losing connection to me. And now I am calling you to walk like it is true. Trust the difference. Honor the difference. Protect the difference. Because your spirit is different, and that difference is part of your calling. It is part of your covering. It is part of your voice. It is part of your authority. It is part of the reason you will not end where others expect you to end. You are not too much. You are not too deep. You are not too sensitive. You are chosen for sensitivity that saves. You are chosen for discernment that protects. You are chosen for a life that can hear me clearly enough to obey. And if nobody has told you this before, let me tell you now. I am not frustrated by the way I made you. I am guiding it. I am refining it. I'm using it. Your spirit is different, and that is exactly how I intended it to be. Stay close to me, and you will see why.